Cobra.
In this week's episode, we will be joining Heinrich and Esti at the Festival of Motoring in Kyalami as they talk to Kenny about his build and to Chris about his passion for Cobras. We visit singer-songwriter William Blackrose in his hometown of Hartbeespoort, and Megan will be giving something special away to one of our lucky viewers. Now sit back and relax as we take you on a journey with Carroll Shelby and his one-of-a-kind car that stood the test of time. Welcome to King Cobra TV. If you have no idea what a cobra is, and I'm not talking about the snake, let me show you.
Warning, the following images are very graphic and may stir emotions of envy and excitement in some individuals.
So, Esti,
Brother,
nice to see you, man.
likewise, brother.
Festival
Always.
of Motoring, how cool is this? We're out at Festival of Motoring, a lot of cars here.
Absolutely, brother. And I mean, it's anything and everything that is under the hood, eh? And I mean, you can just hear by the noise in the background that, it's really one of those days where you get to see anything and everything.
The club members all being motorheads, I think they're going to have a lot of fun today. As you said, lots of cars in the background. But I think when we start these cars up, we'll make a difference to the noise level in Midrand.
We're gonna shut the house down, brother. We're gonna shut the house down.
So what's in this week's episode?
So we're going to be visiting one of the builders out in Boksburg. I know that he's got a couple of Cobras that he's working on. So really want to see what is going on under those hoods. And yeah, just to show the viewers what is Cobra building all about.
Yeah, and then we've got a couple of our members showcasing their cars, a regular feature in our show, so we're looking forward to that. And then obviously a couple of runs, we've got the run for our concourse, we've got our concourse event. So are you entering a car into concourse this year?
I've already entered it, brother, so I just need to get it spick and span, clean out the engine bay, and trust me, I'm walking away with a trophy this year.
Yeah, so the nice thing with our concourse event is that all the manufacturers, we've got different categories. So you're looking at a John Speed car, you can enter your John Speed, KCC, backdraft. So what category are you entering in?
So mine is a KCC, definitely entering that. So really looking forward to making sure that I take home that crown.
All right, so let's get into this week's show.
Carroll Shelby was born on the 11th of January 1923. He was an American automotive designer, racing driver, and entrepreneur. Shelby was best known for his involvement with the AC Cobra and the Mustang for the Ford Motor Company. He had a passion for driving and began driving professionally at the young age of 29. After an almost devastating car crash in 1955, he opened Carroll Shelby Sports Cars in Dallas. In 1961, Carroll Shelby took a dated ACA sports car and installed a Ford V8 engine with a Borg-Warner T10 4-speed transmission. The result was a car that changed automotive history. More about Shelby's amazing life in next week's episode.
Beautiful day out, sunny South Africa, Festival of Motoring. If you're a petrolhead, you have to be a Cobra Club of South Africa, representing in a big way. You can see over 30 Cobras, all different styles, different colors, yellow, black, red, blue. What a fantastic day. Lots of people out, youngsters hoping to drive one of these beasts one day. Guys, you come here and this is a unicorn car for all of them. 2023 Carroll Shelby turning 100 years of splendor, 100 years of beautiful Cobra cars. So today we've got Chris, Meyer, I would say a fairly new member of the Cobra Club. Chris, how long have you had this beautiful car?
Heinrich, I've had this car from November last year. Awesome car. I always loved Cobras. So joined the club. It's awesome.
Very radical color. You know, the average color of a Cobra is blue or red. You see a lot of them. You know, there's a BMW color called Arizona Sunrise. What did you decide when you thought about this color?
The color pops. I love the color. It's called blazing orange. And it's just something else than the usual blue and white.
I see you've got a beautiful engine under the hood. What engine you're running and what gearbox?
There's always a competition between the Ford and Chevy motors. I chose this car specifically because of the Chef. I've got a 383 stroker with a 4-speed turbo box.
So when you say a 383 stroker, for the viewers that don't really know about the strokes, what does it mean if you have a 383 stroker?
It's a 350 with a bit of an extra stroke, so it gives a bit of more horsepower.
When you say more horses, how many? 10, 20, 100?
I would say probably about 40, 50 horses more.
The nice thing about Cobras, the cars are super light. You know, adding 10, 20, 50 horses, 100 horses makes these cars super fast. Would you drive this car down to Cape Town? Is it a comfortable car to drive long distances?
Very comfortable, very comfortable. It is actually driving like a modern car, very nice.
So Chris, of all the cars that you could have bought, you know, there's a lot of sport cars out there, Ferraris, Lambos. What made you decide to buy a Cobra?
The Cobra is just a personalized car. It goes with my personality. I love the Cobra, the sound, the engine, the looks of the car. It's different than a Mustang, normal Mustang, or a sports car, Ferrari or whatever. If I can suggest buy a Cobra, it's awesome.
Thanks. That's Chris Meyer with his beautiful blazing orange car, and let's see if we can find somebody else with another awesome looking car.
Coming up after the break, we talk to a Cobra owner about his build, give away something special to one of our viewers, and talk to singer William Blackrose about his car history.
Cobra. Cobra.
Dude, so you're building a car. A daunting task to build a car from scratch. So why?
Look, it's obviously I've always wanted a Cobra, and it's not the kind of car you can just walk into a dealership and buy. So you want the car you want, you need to build the car you want.
So anything special on this car? Will it be a performance car, track car, daily driver?
You know, I think your dreams are always bigger than your budget. So we'll see when we get done how it comes out. But I'm hoping to use it as a daily driver, all the blood, sweat and tears that's gone into it.
So normally the biggest thing of a car is the color. Have you got a specific color in mind? You know, purple will say a lot about you. But
I would prefer to go for a petrol blue with white stripes. That's the kind of color I've got in mind, but it's changed about 6 times since I've started the build.
all right, can you show me the car?
Yeah, let's go and have a look at it.
Kenny, so this is your car. Tell us what's under the hood.
So it's a Chev 350.
A 350?
Chev.
Put it there.
With a 650 Holly double pumper carburetor on. Transmission is a TH350 auto box. We're still busy with some of the bits and pieces, the cooling system and so on and so forth. But the power plant's in and the transmission is in.
So when it comes to selection, looking at engines to put into these cars, a lot of purists would go with the Ford engines, even though they don't know that Carroll Shelby went to Chevrolet first to find an engine for his cars. What is the difference between putting a Ford engine, Chevrolet or a Lexus motor in one of these cars?
Heinrich, in my opinion, I think it comes down to what's better suited to your budget and your application. A purist would probably want a Ford engine in, a Chevy fan, probably a Chevrolet. Somebody who wants economy and reliability with parts availability, probably a Lexus. There's a couple of things that you have to keep in mind. It's not as straight cut as this or that.
So Kenny, when we talk about motors for these cars, there's a lot of options. You know, the purists would like to have a Ford motor put in a car. Chevy is quite popular. A lot of guys use Lexus motors. Why have you gone for a Chevy motor in this build of yours?
Heinrich, I think there's a lot of things that play an attributing factor. So although a purist would probably say that a Cobra should have a Ford in it, a Chevy fanatic would prefer a Chevrolet motor. You might find guys that want reliability and parts availability with slightly more modern aspects will go for a Lexus. I've even heard of BMW motors, Rover V8s. The options are pretty much limitless. I think it goes down to personal preference and personal taste. I opted for the Chevy because I know them well. I grew up with them. That pretty much made up my mind.
My name is Megan I'm a proud Cobra owner. I've also been involved with the Cobra Club of South Africa for the past 2 years. Welcome everyone to this week's segment of Win with Megs.
Win with Megs.
This week you've got the chance to win this all authentic sent from King Cobra TV. You can buy it online at the Cobra shop, or you've got a chance to win it right now, right here. All that you need to do is SMS the birthday of Carroll Shelby to 071 156 8091. Good luck everyone, I hope you win.
Priya. How's it, my friend?
William Blackrose, in your hometown van Harties.
Yeah, Harties is a great place to be. A beautiful place, but not as beautiful as this car, my friend.
The only thing that this car and Harties has got in common is the...
Don't say it. Don't say it. The only thing that this car and Harties got in common is the silver flare the sun gives off the water.
so not matching the dam at all.
No, we don't say the word damn, but it is damn nice to have you here, Heinrich.
William, fantastic to have you on our show. French toast, beautiful venue in Harties. Let's go inside and have some coffee.
Let's go do it. So here we are.
William, what a lovely venue. So a lot of people know you as William the artist. In '95, you spent six weeks on the Jacaranda Top 20, which was unheard of at the time, with one of your singles. Tell us a bit about your career. Where did it all start?
So what actually happened was, in 1995, I followed Koos Kombuis from Stellenbosch. I used to open for Koos Kombuis. So we came to Pretoria, and then I started singing at this place called The Navigator. And before long, the owner said, well, we don't want Koos Kombuis anymore, we want you. And this guy said, listen, you made me a lot of money, what can I do for you? I said, is there any way we can get my music on a CD, and maybe sell to these people in these queues outside your venue? He took me to a recording studio. I printed 500 demo CDs, and eventually it got grabbed up by some radio stations. One was Jacaranda. And in 1997, they phoned me one morning and said, put on your radio. And I said, guys, it's in the middle of the night. They said, it's 11 o'clock.
In the morning.
Yes. So I turned on my radio, and it was number 6, number 5, number 4, number 3, and then number 1. They put another cover on there with me sitting with long hair, looking at the camera, very fabulous Fabio-like. And then, yes, I remained at the number 1 position for 6 weeks.
So I remember in 91, 92, I did my national service at Waterkloof Air Force Base. And the nightclubs at the time, Jacqueline's, Buckaroos, they played to music, and I was a great fan. You know, I'm still a great fan, but at the time I couldn't wait for a Friday to knock off, and Friday and Saturdays go and jive to songs like Everything and Walk Away. You know, and I think a lot of our viewers, it resonates with them. You know, it's the songs that they grew up with.
It used to irritate me a lot when I used to go to dance clubs and they used to put on my song as if I've never heard it before. And especially those 2 o'clock in the morning phone calls from friends. William, listen to this. And they're at some nightclub, and then I put my phone down on my pillow and I listen to Everything and walk away again.
After the break, we continue our interview with William and take him on a wild ride.
Cobra. Cobra.
So talking about cars, your history with cars, where did it all start? What was your first car?
Since I was about 16 or 17, I knew I had to start saving for a car. So I saved up. My very first car was a 1300 1971 Volkswagen Beetle. I remember downhill, full throttle, with a bakkie pushing me. I could do 90 kilometers an hour. Selling the Volkswagen Beetle, I went over and bought myself a BMW 325M modified. I met my wife and she told me, enough of this, get a sensible car. So I bought a Toyota Hilux raised body Raider. After that, C-Class Mercedes, or during that, C-Class Mercedes, Benz, a Peugeot 207. Then I bought the first sensible car in my life, Mercedes Vito.
So William, the first time we met, you told me an interesting story that you've always been in love with a Cobra. Unicorn car for a lot of petrolheads. So what is your take on a Cobra? Why the amazement with a Cobra?
What you got to know about you coming from Witbank yourself, about a mining town, is that one of the most important things are their cars.
Yeah.
And then I saw these Cobra, Spider Cobra bodies. Some of them had Volkswagen Beetle engines in them. Since I was a kid, I just fell in love with the whole look of the car, the way it's eventually the way it sounded, not like a Volkswagen Beetle engine.
If I could just interrupt you then, I need to just tell the viewers that the first time I took William in a Cobra was a racing car, a racing Cobra at Swartkops, and the passenger, the car normally is a one-seater, so there's no passenger seat, and for this we put a passenger seat in with no safety belts, and the seat was loose. So the only thing that William had to hang on to was the car's roll bar. So that is a different experience too.
Can I just correct you there? The first time I properly drove in a Cobra, you took me in this green monster that we had here today. What you taught me that day was two things. You said, get into the car, sort of in a wide manner, because the exhaust will burn you. And the second thing you taught me was how to assemble an extremely complicated safety belt, which had, there's all these buckles and things in it. So that day on the track at Swartkops, I knew two things. I knew how to get into this car, and I knew how to put the safety belt on. So before we went around the track that day, I said to you, Heinrich, you know what, let's go. I'm sure of two things. First of all, I'm not going to burn my leg on that exhaust. And secondly, I know exactly how to buckle myself in. And then you said, listen, don't worry too much about the exhaust, but first of all, there's no safety belt. And secondly, the seat isn't attached to the car. It's just a little bucket we put in there because it's a racing car. I mean, I've been in like an M5 or M3 where a guy could pull away a car, but I've never felt like those kind of G-forces in my life. And the other thing was, what freaked me out was it was also your very first day driving it, right?
For sure.
So this car was a racing Cobra that you've never driven, that didn't have a safety belt on. I think we won.
Yeah,
because
for sure.
we must have overtaken
No, for sure.
50 cars.
The big thing when you scare somebody else on a racetrack is when you approach them and they put their car's hazards on and they move to the left.
I saw that. What was that? That was a Nissan
Z.
A Nissan Z.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys, I thought to myself, well, this modern car being approached by this, when were the Cobras built?
1962.
62.
Yeah.
I thought this guy's going to give us a go.
Yeah.
But
No,
he put on
let us buy.
his hazards. Well, Heinrich, I'm not sure if all Cobras are standard like this green monster of yours. I know Voto Havenger's got an M5 engine in his white monster.
Oh, for sure. You must remember, like Carroll Shelby said, all Cobras are created equal, some just more equal than others. And the big issue with the Cobra is never the motor. You'll never have enough motor in the car, but you always have a problem with traction. If you want to see it, if you want to actually be a part of it, we shot that in VR.
Yeah, we did.
So you can put on your VR goggles, or you can take your telephone and swap your phone around. You can see above us, behind us.
Oh yeah, and we loaded it on your YouTube channel.
Yeah, so you can go to Cobra Club SA on YouTube and see the entire video there. A lot of other videos. And William, I think it's time. Let's go and make some more memories.
Let's do that.
That's pure acceleration, and with these cars you feel the engine, you hear the engine. It's a total experience. That's why it's called a muscle car, a true American muscle car.
Heinrich Supriya, thank you for a true highlight in my life. You are the legend.
23rd of Jan, we're giving away a Cobra on Carroll Shelby's 100th anniversary. Let's make it 10 tickets, William.
Leave a comment. The question is, where were we today? Leave your email address and we'll send those tickets out to you. Cheers!
Next week, we were taking rugby legend Warren Brosnian on the ride of his life, talking to some more Cobra owners about their builds, and go on some crazy runs with Cobra Club South Africa.